Hey, this is Franklin here. How are you doing? In the previous video, I shared on a morning routine that I put in place that continues to help me to just get fired up and excited to take on the day. I also shared why it's important to have a morning routine because, again, the thing that we do in the first part of the day usually determines the direction of the day. In essence, the morning is the rudder of the day. So now you may be thinking, if it's important to have a morning routine, how important is it to have a night routine or a routine to end the day? I'm glad you asked. Personally, I believe that it is equally important because the way we end the day usually determines the way we begin the next day. And if the morning is the rudder of the day, which determines the direction of the rest of the day, then the evening or the night time or the end of the day definitely is equally important because it's all cyclical. End of the day, then morning for the next day, and it goes on and on and on. And obviously, what we really always want to pursue, I believe what everybody's pursuing rather, is having a productive day, an empowering day, and definitely the way we end one day is what trickles into the next day. And that's why having an end of the day routine is equally important. Honestly, during the course of the years, I have always worked towards maintaining an optimized life. And this also includes in the area of having routines, especially for the morning and for the end of the day. There have been times in the past where at the end of the day, I went to bed, say, very anxious and worried. And guess what? I started the next day anxious and worried. And that's pretty much because end of one day almost continues into the beginning of the next day. And so during the course of the years, I just always worked on trying to get a end of the day routine that would help me to go to bed really like peaceful and encouraged and empowered so that I can wake up excited the next day to face on the challenge, whatever it is that it has. And after listening to different coaches and success experts, there's this one end of the day routine that I've been practicing for quite some time, and it's been really very, very, very helpful. Obviously, there are usually times when, say, I skip it, but on a typical day, the routine has been really very helpful for me in staying excited and committed to my goals and going to bed, no longer waking up the next day anxious and worried. So it's kind of like something really very simple in terms of the end of the day routine. So firstly, I usually, as part of the routine, I usually ask myself 3 different questions. The first one is what worked? So looking at the way I spent my time, the way that I carried out different tasks and activities, I usually want to find out what did I do well and what am I excited and happy about. Were there certain behaviors that I exhibited which, they just weren't very good and I'm not very excited and proud about. So I ask myself this question about what works because I always want to pull insights from my experiences and from my behaviors to ensure that the things that are not really very exciting or the things that are very good as well, that I continue doing those things that work. And it's almost a way of conditioning myself to acknowledge and to reward good behaviors so that I can continue repeating them, because the more of those good behaviors that I put in place and carry, the more positive outcomes that I am able to see in my life. And the second question is, what didn't work? Obviously, there are always going to be times when, say, we try to do something new and it may not work as we expect or as we plan, and that's fine. And that's why this question is also really very important. Asking myself what did not work. Maybe it was a new idea that I executed on or something new that I did. I always want to find out what about that thing did not work, or looking at my day, the way I spent my time, what didn't I just do really very well? And then I move on to ask myself the third question is, what can I do differently? So this one literally just piggybacks off the second question. After identifying the thing that did not really work out fine, maybe it's the way I spent my time, maybe I didn't spend it properly, or the way I executed on a particular task. So I try to find out from my experience on that day what I need to do better and what kind of improvements need to be made so that I don't keep making the same errors or doing that same thing that didn't work continuously. Because if I keep doing continuously what doesn't work, again, I'm going to keep getting the same result. And that's why this third question is very important. Having identified what did not work, but then finding out what to do differently so that I'll get a better result. And after asking those three questions, definitely I usually like to journal, and journaling would just look like, to me, especially for the evening routine, identifying some of the key lessons that I learned or an experience that happened that day, which I am just blown away by. I always want to have a way to kind of record all of those heartfelt moments for me so that I can look back at them and really feel more grateful and excited about the progress that I'm making on my life's journey. And I always like to end my day with gratitude. I start my day with gratitude. If you check out the previous video I did about my morning routine, and I also had another video where I talked about the gratitude. So I start my day with gratitude, and I also like to end my day with gratitude. I identify between 3 to 5 things that happened on that day which I am grateful for. And this usually just puts me in a place of bliss, in a place where I know that, it was indeed a great day. Because sometimes our mind can try to play tricks on us, taking us to think that the day was horrible. But by having to literally pen things down, to list the things that I'm grateful for, I can always look back at it and really feel that emotion of happiness, of excitement, and of joy. And that way I can go to bed at night happy and encouraged, knowing that I did the best that I could do for that day. Because in the past, when I didn't have these practices in place, there were usually times when I went to bed very, very unfulfilled and unhappy because, I wasn't always looking for something to be grateful for, and that usually cost me good sleep. I usually didn't go to bed excited and happy when that was the case. Well, there you have it. This is the end of the day routine that continues to just help me go to bed feeling happy, excited, so that I can have good dreams and not nightmares. Because that's exactly usually what happens. When we go to bed, say anxious or worried, the dreams that we have those days likely will not be exciting for sure. And so for you, how about especially if you don't have a night routine, how about you just consider seeing which of these you can put in practice and just see how it goes for you. And the end of the day, everyone is always looking for ways to optimize their life, just so that we can all live a happy and fulfilled life where we're making progress consistently every single day. And if of course you have an end of the day / night routine, I'll definitely love to hear from you. What are some of those activities that you do at the end of the day so that you are ensuring that you're optimizing your day? That's pretty much it. Thank you so much for your time, and thanks for watching. And obviously, don't forget that you are more than enough. You are worthy, you are deserving, and you are loved. It's been Franklin here. God bless and peace.